We're recording the interview of Donna Leigh. This interview is being conducted by Ericka from the Wright State University Veterans Voices Project. This interview is being recorded at the Crowne Plaza Hotel in downtown Dayton. It is 12:47 a.m. on July 12th, 2019. Hi, Donna.
Hi.
How are you feeling today?
Excellent, thanks.
Fantastic. Where and when were you born?
I was born in Du Bois, Pennsylvania, January 31st, 1946.
Oh, that's chilly. Okay. Who were your parents and what were their occupations?
Okay, my father was Robert Alsace, and my mother was Ruth Hilliard Alsace. My father, when I was growing up, was a Prudential insurance agent. My mom was a homemaker.
Did you have any siblings?
I did, 2 sisters, yes.
All right.
They were both, one was 10, one was 11 years older than myself. So I was the baby.
And you got treated like it?
Probably. Probably.
All right. Did you do anything special in high school?
Did I do anything special in high school? I loved high school. I loved school. We had a great, we were a little school in the boondocks of Pennsylvania. And let's see, I was a majorette. I played the clarinet. I was a mascot for a while. And lots of friends. Went to a little school in a little area like that. That's about all you can do, yeah.
Okay. Was it like a one-room schoolhouse?
Oh, no, it was a regular high school, and it had other areas coming into it as an area high school, yeah.
Okay, so would you say like 300 kids or 1,000?
Oh, not 1,000, no, probably close to 300, yeah.
Oh, so everybody knew everybody and...
Pretty much so, yeah.
All right, that's lovely. All right, what happened after you graduated high school?
I went to nurses training for part of a year, but that didn't work out, so I came out and went to work, and then my husband, first husband, Richard Thomas, and I decided to get married, so we did.
Where did you meet him?
We were friends in school from the 7th grade on, yeah. We knew each other a long time.
When did high school start back then?
It started it was 7th through 9th in junior high school, and then 10th through 12th in high school, yeah.
Okay, so you met him in this junior high.
Yes.
And he was in the service?
Not at that time.
No, of course not.
No, but he went into the Air Force, yes, after we were married. Mm-hmm.
After you were married?
Right.
Okay, so was he from your, tell me some details.
Well, he went to Penn State University and graduated from there.
Uh-huh.
And then he enlisted into the Air Force, and we were married in February '68. And then he went to basic training probably April '68 timeframe. I'm not sure exactly the month, yeah.
Okay, so your junior high sweethearts.
Friends. Always.
Friends.
Very good friends, yeah. We always ran around with the same kids and that, so we were all very just good friends, yes.
And then when did it become romantic?
Oh, I guess we dated off and on. I don't even remember, but, kind of when he was in college, yes. Yeah.
And you went to nursing school, but that wasn't for you?
No, and then I came out and worked a little bit in an office, and then that's when we got,
kind of serious.
Stated, yes, yeah.
Okay. Was Penn State relatively close to?
Yeah, it was only about 60 miles away, yes.
Okay, so he'd come and see you on the weekends?
Now and then, yeah.
All right. That seems sweet.
It was, I guess. Yeah, it was good.
Now, were you guys, back then, was it the kind of, where you had to go on a date and there was a chaperone with you?
No.
A little bit more freedom than that.
Yeah, and we always probably were with friends. We were just that kind of group, yes.
All right. Okay. And when you got married, can you tell me about that? Was it like a cute little church wedding, or?
It was just in a little church there in our area. That was actually the church that he attended, and there was a wedding in February in Pennsylvania, so there was snow. But that was, and we knew he was going in the Air Force. So, and for our honeymoon, we went to visit his sister in Chicago and back.
Now, he knew he was joining the Air Force because that was a career choice, or because he knew he was going to get drafted?
That was a career choice. He wanted to go to pilot training, yes.
And you were in support of this?
Oh, sure.
Can I ask why?
I don't know why. I just never had any objections to it. I guess both of my sisters married military men too, and I'm not sure that, I don't think that had any bearing on the situation, but no, I just supported him. It's a great choice as far as I was concerned, yeah.
Now, your sisters marrying military men and being older than you, what was their military experience?
Well, let's see. Oh gosh, you're really challenging me to think back 50 years. Oh my goodness,
sorry.
that's all right. My one sister, closest to me, they were stationed in Washington, D.C., and then over to Germany and back. The other sister's husband was a fighter pilot, and he was in Vietnam also, stationed in Oklahoma or England, a lot of places they were, so basically, yeah.
And it wasn't scary at all? I feel like I'd have been terrified.
I think I must have been very young and naive, and it was an adventure, I guess. No, it really wasn't. No, I was looking forward to it.
Okay. Maybe it was a sheer thought of getting out of Pennsylvania.
No, I liked it there too. I think once I arrived there and found out that there were a lot of different people in that I wasn't accustomed to, it made me anxious, but I liked it. I really did. I really liked the Air Force life. Crazy as that sounds, I did, yes.
Okay, well, I was in the Army, so the Air Force life isn't that bad.
No, I enjoyed it. I really did, yes.
Okay. So he joins the Air Force. He's off to basic. He goes through air pilot training. How did you guys communicate?
Letters, basically, yes.
And can you tell me about some of that communication, or do you remember? How was he feeling? Do you know at all?
I never heard any negative, no, never any negative. It was hard, it was difficult, and things like that, yeah. But it was fine, yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. And then, we went to pilot training down in Lubbock, Texas. That was a cultural change.
And you got to go with him when
Yes,
you went to?
I did.
When you
Yes.
went to, okay, and that was what, about a year of training?
Yes, yeah. Yes, I think we were a year in Texas. And then we went to Seward Air Force Base in Tennessee, where he trained in the C-130s.
And that was your first duty station?
Yes.
Were there any, wives clubs or anything like that?
Yes, I participated in anything that was available, yeah. I enjoy being social and being with people, so yes, I did.
And how old were you?
Oh, gosh, 68, 22? Yeah, 22. I had to think about that. Yeah, I think it was 22. Yes.
Were you working at all?
Yes, I worked as a secretary in a local office there, yes.
Okay. So you're a good typist?
I can type, yes.
Okay. Did he what were his hours? When he was at his first duty station, Stewart, right?
He was in the pilot training there in Lubbock first. They're pretty intense. They're long hours, they're long days, yeah.
Okay.
And all the studying and things like that, yeah. It's difficult for a wife. They have to be able to find time to do something on their own, yes, that's true.
And so that's when all the groups and
Right.
making friends and stuff
Right.
came.
Making friends, we made a lot of good friends. That was nice, yes.
Okay, fantastic. Do you still keep in contact with any of those people?
Actually, yes, not a lot of them, but some of them. It's been a long time, but we're here now with the reunion at CCK because we were with them at Seward and then again at CCK.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay, we'll get into that.
Okay.
But let's finish talking about. So first duty station. Do his hours kind of normal out? Is he coming home for dinner every day yet, or?
Oh yes, he did. Yes.
And about what year is it now?
Now it is 69.
So Vietnam is still going on.
Yes.
Okay. How do you feel about this?
About the Vietnam?
Yeah.
Or, yeah.
Being a pilot's wife and knowing what could happen to him.
Nervous. Yes, yeah, apprehensive, anxious, yes. And I mean, we'll jump ahead, Seward was a short-term thing there, and then that's when he got orders to CCK, which was an unaccompanied tour. And so he left then in October of that year.
How long had you been in Stewart when he got those orders?
We went to Stewart, probably like May or June, and then he left for CCK, Taiwan, in October that same year.
And what did you know about that base at that time?
Nothing really, not a lot, just that he was going there, would be flying into Vietnam most of the time. It was an unaccompanied tour. I wasn't permitted to go, but fast forward, I did.
Okay, so unaccompanied means no family, no wives, no children. The government isn't paying for you to go.
That's exactly true.
Because it isn't necessarily safe for you to be there.
Maybe not.
Maybe not, okay. However, CCK isn't necessarily declared a war zone.
No, not at all.
So he arrives there, and what are his thoughts and feelings? And then what is he?
Excuse me. Gosh, I got to think back on it.
Because you end up going.
Right.
Okay. So
but it was a while later because I was pregnant with our first child.
When he left, you were with child?
Yes.
Oh my.
Yes.
That's quite a decision.
Right.
So how far along were you when he?
When he left, I was, let's see, she was born in January. I was probably about 6 months pregnant, something like that, yeah. Yes, about 6 months pregnant when he left.
Whew. I'm gonna pause for a moment and just collect that thought. So, my loving first husband is a pilot during wartime, and he's going off to a base that's not necessarily an active target, but he's flying in and out of Vietnam, which
Correct.
is an active target with
Right.
who knows what on his C-130.
Mhm.
And I'm
I am.
6 months pregnant with
Yes.
a bouncing baby. Do you know what it is at that time?
No,
Just a bouncing baby.
right,
And I've got to kiss him goodbye. I can't go according to the military.
that's right.
That's a lot as a
It is.
spouse, as a woman, as a new mom, as a new wife, as a
Yes.
human.
Yeah, knowing you're going to have your first baby on your own is a little daunting, yes.
Okay, so, but you and him, he gets there and he figures out how to get you there.
I guess so. I don't really know how that happened. Actually, to this day, I don't. I just remember him calling me at Christmas time, which phone calls were very, very rare back then. You got to realize this is now 49 years ago. And he called and said, "Are you going? You can come over." And I said, "What?" I really didn't understand what he was saying because I just didn't comprehend it. But luckily enough, the friends we're here with now, he explained that she was also coming, this friend of ours, but I had to wait till I had the baby, and he or she had to be 4 months old. So and then she happened to be very late, so it took a little while for her to be born and be 4 months old. So then I didn't get to go over until June of that year.
Okay, so I was thinking you flew over there at 7 months.
Oh, I'm sorry. No.
Okay.
Oh, good thing I filled that void in. No.
Okay.
I could not go over then, and I could not go over until the baby was 4 months old.
Okay, so he had some time to be in country and acclimated.
Right.
Okay,
Absolutely.
so he knew the lay of the land by the time you arrived.
Right.
And you had gotten some letters, and you had a feel for what was
Right.
going on. And then he also probably had, I'm asking a question in the form of a sentence, I'm sorry. Did he have a house and home set up for you guys?
Yes, he did.
Probably
Yes, he
a
did.
crib and all of that.
Well, I was able to take some
Personal goods?
personal things with us, so I did take some of the baby's things with me, yes. That was shipped over before I left, yes.
Okay. How was that flight with the baby?
That was very interesting. And to show you how naive I was, I left Pennsylvania without a visa. And I arrived in California. My sister and brother-in-law happened to be stationed there, and they took me into the Chinese consulate, and I received one. So I was lucky, very lucky to get that. And then I flew over, and that was interesting when the armed gentleman came on the plane in Guam. And I was there with a little 4-month-old baby. That was pretty interesting, yes.
Okay. Wow. All right. So you land in Taiwan,
Mm-hmm.
and is your husband there to pick you up?
Yes, he was.
Okay.
Yes.
That is, so it was quite a reunion because he's never seen
No,
your
he's
daughter
never
before.
seen his daughter, no.
Oh, wow. Okay. So can you tell me about what these cultural changes are for, and just tell me what you were experiencing and feeling.
Well, the first cultural change, I gotta admit, is my daughter was a very curly haired blonde baby. And so when we went into the restaurant for the first time, when he just picked me up, they came and picked her up and were going to take her away. And I panicked. What's going on? They couldn't believe her blonde curly hair. Everybody had to feel it. And they were the kindest, most kind, gentle people in the world. But that was pretty astonishing at the time. But it was fine, yes. And then we stayed there, and then we drove down to Taichung, down to CCK, and he had a little home for us there. And it was darling. It was a really nice little place, yeah. It was interesting to see, the broken glass and barbed wire and barbed windows and that. That was interesting, yes.
Did you stay on base?
No, I wasn't on base.
Ever?
We could use the medical facilities. Not allowed in the commissary at all. And we could go in the BX, but we couldn't purchase anything.
Your husband could, though?
He had an allotment at the commissary, that was all. And then he could purchase in the BX, yes, absolutely.
Okay. You guys made it work, though?
Oh, yes.
What was shopping like in the Taiwan market?
We had an ama, which, was a maid in that. So she did a lot for me. She was very, well-versed in what I could get in that. So she did a lot for me, yeah.
And an ama is our version of a maid?
Yes,
okay.
Yes.
You flew over with your friend, yes?
Not there, no. I was by myself when I flew over from the United States. I was by myself, no. With my daughter, of course.
I misunderstood. But eventually you met up with your...
Yes,
okay.
She was already there.
Okay.
Yes, she was already there. And the aircraft commander that my husband was on with, he and his wife were very helpful also.
Okay. Were you religious at all? Did you attend any...
We would go to church, but because of the schedules and that always didn't happen, no.
Okay. Were there, besides you and your friend, were there other wives and things like that there that you could socialize with?
Oh, yeah, we did. We socialized. We would, at the time, there was called the Bag Club, and you could go there and do things together. And I was there such a short time that I probably didn't get acquainted with as many as I'd like to have. But yes, there was, we did get together.
And why were you there a short time?
Because my husband lost his life in an aircraft accident over there.
Wow. I apologize for your loss.
Thank you.
Okay. How old was your daughter when that happened?
She was 8 months old. Yeah, 8 months old. She was just 8 months old.
This was very quick.
Yes.
How was the community of Air Force and other bag people that's at keeping you together?
They were very supportive. And of course, my friend, the two friends that I talked about were very, very supportive in everything that was going on. Do I remember a lot of it? No, I don't. Even to this day, I don't. A
It
lot
was
of that's blanked out. Yep.
Just a whirlwind.
Mhm. Mhm. And when my husband's plane went down, it was a number of days till they found it. So it was a number of days searching for it. So that was a long.
So you didn't even know if he was a POW or if he
No.
was just.
No.
And when he would go out, would he be gone for a few days and then come back in?
Well,
or would he come home every night?
When he went to Vietnam, of course, he was gone probably 2 weeks to 20 days, that type of thing. He'd be gone for quite a while at that time. But this particular flight was picking up troops coming in to be stationed at CCK, and he was in the process of upgrading to an aircraft commander, so he needed more flying hours. So he just took this flight to gain more hours. He really wasn't even scheduled to be on the flight as part of it, but he went to gather more hours. So they were just bringing troops in. You know, they were coming into Taipei and bringing him back down to Taiwan.
Was it a malfunction or something
The
that?
cause?
Yes.
I probably don't know the answer to that still to this day. The plane was about 25 feet from the tip of a mountain.
Okay.
It was off course, and I was never shared that information of what happened.
Okay. We'll move on.
Okay?
Okay. All right. So you get back to the States.
The friend that I've been talking about, that husband flew back with me. We landed in California, and very fortunate, my sister and brother-in-law are still there, so we stayed there a couple of days. Then he flew back with me to Pennsylvania, to my home.
As an escort?
Yes.
Or like a military escort, or just as your friend?
Both. I think both, but military escort, yes.
So they paid for him to
Yes.
do that, and they paid for you to get home?
Yes. Yes, they did.
So what happens after that with you?
Our little daughter, unfortunately, when I was leaving Taiwan, I took her in to be, checked out, and she was 8 months old, and they said that she probably had a congenital hip, where her hip was out of line. So that was first and foremost of what I had to do and get her hip into, so she was put into a body cast then for the biggest part of the rest of that year. So then, pretty tough adjustment, of course, as it should be. I didn't know what I was going to do, where I was going to go, and that was very challenging for me, very, very, very challenging. I had some good friends that were still there that were supportive, so that really helped me through it a lot. And my family, I haven't even brought them up. I mean, they're the best supportive family in the world. So that stayed with my mother and father, and my sister was only a few blocks away with her children. So that part was very, very lucky for me. Yes, I was very fortunate.
Okay. I'm having a tough time just taking all this in, so I can imagine going through it was just, I'm gonna get through today, right? Every day. I'm gonna get through
and
today.
There's some of those days that I don't remember, so I don't know
how you did it.
How or what happened, but some of those days are still blocked out, and I still talk about it, especially to the friend I've just been with, saying, it's really crazy after 49 years, how do I not remember? I don't. I guess it was my way of coping.
I can agree with that. I 100% just, there are some days about Iraq that I don't know.
Your mind doesn't want to remember. Yes.
And I'm happy it won't.
That's true.
And
there's a reason for it.
The doctors or psychologists or whatever, like, I'm good. It can stay behind whatever file drawer. It doesn't need to.
That's true. Yeah.
Let's leave that where it is.
Yeah.
I'm happy now.
Mm-hmm.
So okay, we won't bring that. We'll leave that where it is. We're happy that you're here and you're smiling. Yeah. So how is your daughter?
My daughter's wonderful.
All right. So hips all straight out.
She's all straightened out. Yeah.
She can do the Mary
And the part that I haven't brought into this too, I feel really bad because I haven't brought it up yet. As Rick, my first husband's parents. They lived only a few miles from where I was. We were brought up in the same area. And, it was just amazingly devastating for them. Their son it was just really, really, really difficult for them too, as it, as it should be.
How old was he?
How old?
Yes. Was he about your age or
Yes, we were the
year
same
old?
age.
Okay, same age.
Yeah,
Okay.
we graduated from high school together, yes.
Are they close to their granddaughter?
Yes, it grows, as time went on, I remarried and moved away. I was a military wife again.
Okay.
And so, but when we went home, yes, we would always see them, yes.
All right. Fantastic. So, whew. Did we even say what your husband's name was?
I probably said Rick a couple times. His name was Richard Thomas, yeah, but we went by Rick.
Okay. And do you know his dates of service?
Yes. The first date I'm not 100% sure of. It was right around the beginning of 1968. And then he passed away, the plane went down October 2nd, 1968.
And did he get any medals?
He may have, but I don't have any recollection of that. Yeah, I have all of his records at home and probably do have it, but I don't know that.
Okay.
Right.
All right. Fantastic. How's your daughter now?
Pardon me?
How's your daughter now?
You know what? I have the dates wrong, what I just told you. He probably went in 68, but his plane went down 1970.
Uh-huh.
I said, how'd that happen? Now, wait a minute.
Okay.
I got to think. Pardon me. Now you asked about my daughter.
Yeah. How old is she now?
She's 49.
Okay. And does she have any children?
She has one little girl.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is it grandma?
Oh, wonderful thing.
Okay. Okay. All right. So let's talk about Mr. Leigh.
Okay.
All right. So at some point you regain an everyday life.
Right.
All right. And your daughter comes out of the cast, and this amazing family helps pull you through this. And,
Sure.
And friends.
Right.
Do you go back to work?
No, I did not. I did not go back to work.
All right. How do you meet?
Mr. Leigh, I met him through my husband because they were on a crew together.
Okay.
When Rick was stationed there at first, they flew together.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess you would call him our bachelor friend. He used, at the time, some of his commissary rations and would buy things for us, or if he went to Okinawa, he'd pick up some baby food for us. So he was just a friend. Very close-knit group. We were very small, but when you're in a situation like that, you really depend on each other. And he was flying in country in Vietnam when Rick's plane went down, and they brought him back so that he would be back when they had a service for us and that. And so when he came back from Taiwan, he came to visit me. And so that's the beginning of the end.
Okay.
So we were married a couple of years later.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. You have something in common,
Yeah,
and I'm sure he's a nice guy.
he's a terrific guy.
And so, did he stay in the military and make that a career?
Yes, he did.
Okay.
Yes, he did.
So did he stay a pilot?
He was a navigator.
Oh,
He was a navigator.
can you tell me a little bit more about that?
About him,
His
he had
job.
already been in the service, for a while. And so when we were married, then we were stationed at Mather Air Force Base in California, and we had our daughter, his first daughter was born out there. And then we came back to Pease Air Force Base in New Hampshire when she was a year old. And then we had a son. And then we were stationed at Hanscom Air Force Base in Massachusetts. And that's where we retired, and then where we still are.
All right.
Yeah.
Wonderful. So, the Air Force has been good to you,
Yes.
and you have
Now we have 3 children, yeah.
3 children. How many grandkids?
2.
Just 2.
Each daughter has 1, yes.
Okay.
We have, we have the oldest daughter, and then the middle daughter, and then we have a son. Yeah.
All right. We're just waiting on him to catch up.
Well, our son is Down syndrome,
Oh.
so he's on, yes.
I'm sorry
Yeah.
to hear that.
It's great, he's wonderful.
Okay. Okay. Fantastic. Your husband in retirement, what does he do?
He retired, and then he went to work for a company called Textron. At the time he went in, they were working on the MX missile, and kind of that was where he was working in. So He retired out of the military for 20 years, then he retired out of there for 27 years.
So, being a navigator,
Mhm.
that position didn't stick around, did it?
It did, yes. Yeah, because it stayed for certain kinds of airplanes, yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
I was like, okay. And so he was able to do that for 20 years.
Yes.
Fantastic. Okay. Well, is there anything else you'd like to share?
I think I shared a lot. You're really knocking my memory for after 49 years.
I just, okay. Well, are there any life lessons that you've learned from being associated with the military?
You know, a lot of women have a hard time adjusting. It is a very unique style of life. For being brought up in a small town in Pennsylvania, I'm not sure why I adjusted so well, but I really enjoyed it. I really did. It gave you experiences I'd never, ever, ever had in the traveling and things like that. Do you have to be cut out for it? No, you can learn like anything else in life, any life. But I really enjoyed the Air Force life, yes, a lot.
Do you think that where you were raised or how you were raised helped you to adjust to that kind of living?
Could be. I don't know. I mean, we had good moral ethics and things like that, so it could be, because we certainly didn't experience any of those things in that small town.
Okay. Has your connection to the military and being a military spouse impacted your feelings about war and the military in general?
I probably have my own opinions, yes. And they probably might not always be in agreement with everyone else's, Am I pro-military? Mm-hmm. Yes, I am.
Okay, now's the time to share that. You
That's
have the
enough.
floor. No?
That's enough.
You have the floor.
I'm very pro-military, yes.
Okay. Me too.
Is everything in agreement? Of course not. That'd be silly. There's no such thing as a perfect world.
Mm-hmm.
But we all wouldn't be here without that military, would we?
Right.
And a lot of people don't understand that, I don't think. Especially nowadays. I'm not sure they understand that as well. So
Kind of like the saying,
that's my biggest opinion.
if you're reading this, thank a teacher, and if you're reading this in English, thank a vet.
Yeah.
Kind of like that.
Very much like that.
Yeah.
That sums it up very nicely.
Okay. So, are you a member of any military organizations?
No, not any longer. The base we're stationed at doesn't have and there's not as many social aspects as there used to be, right?
Okay.
And I guess when we were at Pease, when we were in California, first time, yes, I was involved a lot. But then came to Pease and we had 3 kids under 5. I was a little busy, just a tad busy.
Okay. So you sure there's nothing else you want to add?
I can't think of anything at the moment. I've gone through a lot of things, yeah. My brain's really tired.
All right.
No, I'm kidding.
Okay, I'll give you one more question.
Sure.
And then I'll let you go.
Not a problem.
Okay. What message would you like to leave for future generations that will hear or see this interview?
Wow, that's very powerful. That would take a lot of time to think about what message would I. I don't want to make it simplistic.
Take your time.
It's hard to put in words. It really is difficult to put in words. It was difficult, yes. But did I like it? Would I do it again? Absolutely. 100%, without any hesitation whatsoever. I would, yes. I would encourage anybody to do that, to be part of the military family at any time, yes.
Can you give any words of encouragement to the spouses out there currently?
Oh, That's really tough too, because everybody's unique and everybody comes from a unique background, and you don't know what they're dealing with or what they've left behind. So it's so hard to put that into just a few words. If you need help, get it. There's a lot out there. Don't be afraid to get it. Make good friendships. That's really, really important, I think. It's too big of a subject to really put down in a small few words, yeah.
Okay, so I said one more question, but now
That's
you
all
got me
right.
thinking about one more question. You've been married for a while now,
Yes,
and you seem happy.
very.
All right, if you could recommend one thing that keeps a marriage going, and because divorce rates are so high for
They
these
are.
kids these days,
Right.
what would you say to that?
Be good friends.
Be good friends.
Love's easy. Love's very easy. Being good friends and respecting each other, yes, and listen, yeah. And be willing to work at it a little bit. Everybody seems to be too easy to just give it up. But there's a lot of circumstances also too. Like I say, every situation is unique. But that would probably be my biggest thing, be friends and listen.
All right, friendship is key.
Has been for us, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Well, that concludes our interview with Donna Leigh. Thank you for your time today.
My pleasure.
I appreciate it so much.
Thank you.